Thanks for the introduction. So as I said, my name is Ray Walshe, and I work for Insight Center for Data Analytics. So what am I doing here at a health expo? Well, part of what I do as part of my day job is I work on data analytics for large projects. And one of the large projects that we're currently working on is a targeted research project, which is in this space. And just to make reference to some of the things that are on the slide, so Insight is the National Centre for Data Analytics. It's a four-sited research centre, so it's spread across 4 universities. DCU, which is my host university, is part of that research centre. And it's funded through Science Foundation Ireland. So Science Foundation Ireland have invested about 80 million in that one research centre. And that 80 million is spread across all sorts of analytical projects, but a chunk of them is in the area of health and human performance. And I'm going to just talk a little bit about projects that we're involved in with some of my colleagues who are here in the audience as well. We can have a chat with them after the discussion. Okay, so to kick it off anyway, so in terms of just the health aspect of it, I'm going to look at, on the first slide, at obesity. And obesity is a big problem, not just within Ireland, not just within Europe, but within the world. It's estimated at the moment that nearly 1/3 of the population of the planet are obese. That's a very large statistic. Like, that's a global statistic. We are not doing so well. Ireland, 23% of the population would be classified as being obese. Okay, there are worse offenders than us, but it's not a proud statistic to be that high up in a global ranking. Okay, childhood obesity specifically is something that we're struggling with, particularly within Ireland. Even though there's lots of national initiatives in this area recently, Get Active, walking projects associated with schools or our national programs. It's the prognosis for 2020 is that we're going to have a worse situation than we currently have. So the graphic, which is hard to read, we've gone from a situation where a 10-year-old child would have a weight approximately about 4 stone up as far as 4 stone 5 pounds. So it's a significant percentage increase, nearly a 25% increase over a period between 1948 and 2020, if we don't do something radically to change our lifestyles. And then we can see on the graphic at the very bottom some of the obvious implications of obesity. And it's not just the type 2 diabetes, it's the pressure you're putting on your internal organs, the increased risk of stroke, so potential for a catastrophic event to happen, varicose veins, and then damage to your actual joints. So these are all things which are part and parcel with dealing with weight problems and obesity. To have a look at diet, exercise, and hydration, this is the food pyramid. No, it isn't. Just checking to see you're awake. So we don't have potatoes, meat, whiskey, lagers, and everything else. That's not the food pyramid. It's a food pyramid. And from a caricature point of view, if you go back and look at historically what Irish people are supposed to be like, then that might be something that you would have thought it was accurate. It's not accurate. It's just there to grab your attention. There is an actual real food pyramid, which has been going through lots of revolutions recently. And we're going to have a look at what the current state of affairs is in future slides. Exercise, because of Wi-Fi, predominantly, Netflix, all of those social and interactive media platforms that we have available to us, we've got this very sedentary lifestyle creeping in, not just within the younger people, but also within adults themselves. And from a hydration perspective, this is where we are pointing towards hydration, is fizzy drinks. It's not to adopt what the recommendation would be to have drinks of water, or at least water with some cordial mixed within it, which is the recommended intake for hydration. While these caricatures might be thought-provoking, they're not that far off the truth. The real food pyramid is going to look like this, where you have lean meats and fish at the very bottom. Okay, so you got lots of protein. Then you have your carbs, your fruits and vegetables, and at the very top you have nuts and seeds, which at the very high level you've got both fiber and a little bit of fat, and then you have natural fats and oils there as well. But this used to be at the very bottom. Does anyone know what used to be at the bottom of the real food pyramid? Yeah, absolutely. The carbs. That's what it used to be. And we eat spuds. That's what we do. We're Irish. So we eat spuds, and that was the healthy way, the healthy diet. And that was wrong. So they tell us now. But it wasn't wrong at the time, because when the population was eating a lot of carbs, we were far more active. Now we're not as active, and as a result of that, the carbs, which turns into sugars, has a negative effect on us. So this is more realistic. Even if you look at the Department of Health website, you see an older version of this, which still has carbs and pastas and potatoes at the very bottom. So it has changed even in the last couple of years. We do have more apps available now. We've lots of wearable technology. We have the standard Fitbits. We have the inertia devices for tracking the number of steps, step counters, and we have all sorts of apps attached to our smartphones, whether it be Apple or Android systems. And we have other apps which just do a breakdown of the type of food that we're currently intaking. So from a nutrition perspective, it'll tell us how much fiber, how much fat, how much carbohydrate, how much sugar, how much protein. You can get applications that will do this. But it's all very sporadic and it's very bitty, and it's very hard to engage with that. And the purpose of this talk then is to talk about lifestyle changes. Because in order to make a significant difference to your health, to the amount of carbohydrates, the amount of protein, the amount of sugars, the amount of vitamins you're getting into your diet, you're going to have to make a concerted change to do things right. Because it's easy to do it wrong. That's why the vast majority of people do it wrong. Okay? So what are possible solutions? Well, in terms of the future, and we've been looking at this within Insight and within some of our targeted projects, what is the future then in terms of what we should be doing with our healthy living apps, our healthy lifestyle and healthy living apps? Well, we need to have more targeted exercise constructed programs. So not just for a standard person, say, we say males do this and females do that, okay? There are different types of males. Everybody has a different body shape. There's the different gender aspect. You have different age groups. You have different requirements at different stages of your life. Okay, so if you're going to get engaged with an exercise program, then it needs to be tailored to the individual, not just some standard off-the-shelf exercise program. Nutrition. It's not just about eating the right things. You need to have constructed meals that make sense, so you're getting all parts of your diet correctly. And portion size is very important. So it's no good to say, well, okay, I'll eat protein. But if you're eating kilos and kilos of protein, that's not going to do you any good either. That's going to put pressure on your digestive system also. And the same thing in terms of the amount of fiber you eat. If you overdo it from a fiber point of view, we all know what happens there. So everything has to be balanced. It has to make sense. Hydration. 86% of people don't drink enough water. 86. I only looked this up this morning because I wasn't sure what the current statistic was. I said, no, it can't be wrong, or it can't be right. This must be wrong. But 86% of people don't drink enough water. And the people that are drinking water are drinking it wrong. They're trying to drink like a gallon at a time to make sure that they're hydrated. They're drinking pints and liters at a time rather than consuming it over a gradual period throughout the day. And even when they're eating their meals, they're eating it wrong. Drinking it wrong, drinking water wrong. Tend to front load the meals, which does away with your digestion. Okay? Now, and all of this information, in terms of ICT, all this information is available online. So there's tons of information available about exercise, about hydration, about nutrition, etc. But what I'm going to talk to you about is how ICT, specifically ICT apps, can help to solve the problem. I thought weight, again, we need to have dynamic programs for weight. If you've got a targeted weight you want to reach, then that needs to be done in a sensible, with a sensible program, where on average you're losing about 2 pounds per week, okay? Because that's maintainable, rather than doing these binge diets where a lot of weight is lost and you don't keep it off. So it needs to be done in a sensible manner. Heart rate. We have lots of people going around with heart rate trackers on it now at the moment, and they're great, aren't they? You keep looking at them, at 70, whoa, up to 80, excellent. But what work has been done? It's not just about where your heart rate is at. It needs to be elevated in order to do some work. And at what stage of elevation are you in different zones of activity? What's light, what's moderate, what is hard, and what's your maximum heart rate? Could be dangerous to exceed. All of that needs to be taken into account. And sometimes these wearable technologies don't do that. Even the applications don't give you that extra piece of information. And we need real-time management and adaptive management systems so that if you fail to do some exercise or you go a little bit off plan with your nutrition, that your system that you're using, if you're using a smart device and a smart system, will adapt to that and get you back on track and give you the guidance and the support to get you back on track. So thus armed with that valuable information, this is what we're looking at. We're talking about if you got smart apps who want to do exercise programs, it's not enough to just say, do so many repetitions of a particular weight. This has to be targeted to the individual. Each individual has different requirements. Mine might be to lose weight, okay? That's pretty obvious. Someone else might be just to tone up. Someone else might want to build muscle. So if it's an elite athlete. So depending on what your requirements are, you have different targeted regimes and different programs associated to meet those goals. So there has to be a personalized program which varies between machine and resistance, because we don't all have access to dumbbells or machines in the gym at any one time. Sometimes we just want to do press-ups or some weight resistance type training. Video examples are good. If you are using machines, then you need to have proper professional guidance as to how to use them so that you don't do yourself an injury. Variable reps and sets, because different people, depending on how fit they are and what their targeted weight and strength requirements are going to be, will be able to do less or more of a particular weight than other individuals. So the system has to adapt to that, allow you to say, oh, that's too heavy, and it'll give you a lighter weight. Or that's too easy, so we'll challenge you a bit and give you a heavier weight. So with dynamic weights, individual daily targets, so what you have to do in terms of consuming calories, how much training you would have to do, etc., that would all be covered by the exercise program. Building recovery times. If you're doing sets and reps in terms of in a gym, then you need 30 seconds, 45 seconds, depends on how fit you are to recover. So that varies based on the individual, so individually tailored programs. And then visual feedback as to what is the correct way in terms of posture, etc., to do these exercises, and what is the correct number of repetitions and sets that you would have to do to meet your target. Accurate recording in terms of nutrition. So the very same thing would apply to nutrition. Nutrition, we would have guidance for what you do for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But that's not all we eat. Unfortunately, we eat snacks as well, and we tend to eat a lot. I mean, Irish people in particular eat a lot of snacks. So you need to have slots within your day, if you're going to be snacking, to recommend what would be healthy options. What are healthy options for your breakfast? What are healthy options for your dinner? What are the correct portion sizes? Healthy options for snacks and portion sizes. Calorific content of those, so it's important, so you can see what your daily target is in terms of your calories. So if you're consuming a couple of thousand calories per day for a meal, then it will tell you, well, if you're taking 281 calories for breakfast, then your remaining calories are there, and the calories consumed for the day to date are there. So you get this reinforcement that you're on target. And again, there's good visual feedback there, and there's individual daily targets associated with them as well. Okay? Hydration is the same. As I said, we don't do hydration. The whole world seems to have a problem with hydration. Ballygowan has made a business out of selling water, particularly in a country where it's raining nearly 9 days out of 10. We still consume a lot of water, but not as much as is required to maintain proper cognitive function. Okay? So, and that's important. That's the main reason why you should be hydrating. It's not because it's something got to do with weight weight management, although it does have a knock-on effect of weight management in terms of digestion. It's because of cognitive function. And you are losing a lot. If you are training and you are exercising properly, even if it's walking, you are losing sweat. And that needs to be replenished. You're losing electrolytes and you're losing water. And you need to replenish that. So hydration is important. You need to have accurate logging of this, and not just that you drink a litre at a time, which what this individual has just done. He's added 1,000 millilitres to his daily consumption, but to be able to do it a sip at a time or a quarter litre at a time. So like little small cups, an average cup, a litre, or if you are one of these elite athletes and you're doing some bulk drinking, then there is a possibility for adding in at the end of the day your consumed total. So add in 2,000, say, well, I forgot to log it as I was going along. I'm just going to build it up as in terms of meeting my daily requirement. So there's individual targets again. So this would vary on gender and age as well. So if you're for specific individuals, and you get visual feedback, so you can see where you are, whether you're on target. So we can say we're 50% there in terms of our current hydration for today. And that needs to be not just on a daily basis, it needs to be done on a weekly basis, it needs to be done on a monthly basis, so you can plan long term. And you can get feedback as to where you are on your current program at any point in time, okay? And if it's been reinforced that you're doing well, you are more engaged. Because one of the major problems that you're going to have in any of these type of systems is a lack of engagement. Everybody makes their New Year's resolution. And 1st of January, going to lose weight, I'm going to get fit, I'm going to get out, got new trainers, got new jogging gear, all the rest of it. And by the 5th of January, oh, to hell with that. It's too cold, it's too wet. I'm not doing any more of it. So you need some sort of a system, some sort of a program which will engage people, okay, so that you're constantly going back to the system to see where am I within this current program, and what are my targets, what do I need to do to keep on track, etc. So the weight is the same, so all of these things need to be logged. So you're logging your weight. You don't have to do it every single day, but the more often you do it, the more accurate a graph you get to show how close you are to getting to the target. But you have a target that you want to reach. And this is done at the start of the application by Employwells. You have a target you want to reach. It'll tell you how long it will take you to get there, losing a sustainable amount of weight per week, which is roughly about 2 pounds or 1 kilogram per week. Okay? So we have, again, user input, an adaptive graph which shows you your progress over a period of time, dynamic programs which are adapted to your own body, your own physiology, your own gender. And we get visual feedback so we know where we are, and we can see ourselves in terms of actual weights, what the progress has been over time. And you can see even at this example here, you have 30th of February, 11th of February, 10th of February, 8th, 6th. So this individual wasn't logging every single day, but still you can get a sense of where they're going in terms of their weight, and it is fluctuating around the 81 kilo, 82 kilo mark. Heart rate, as I said, part of the system we've been working on measures heart rate, and that's important because if you know what zone of activity you're in, and you can see there's 5 zones here: rest, very, very light, moderate, and hard. And that scale is between your at-rest heartbeat and your maximum heart rate. At-rest heart rate, maximum heart rate. And that varies per individual based on your age. Okay, so that's a calculation that moves and is tailored per individual again. So it's not about just doing global solutions to weight loss or to strength and conditioning. It needs to be targeted to the individual, and that's where the future of these programs will be. You have zones, you have timed levels, so you can see it's hard to make it out in this particular graphic, but you can see 33 seconds at rest, so it's starting up to build up their activity, and then 2 minutes 39 at very light, and then as they got into the routine, their heart rate went up to very hard, or the hard rate right there, where they're actively engaged and working hard to achieve their targets. And you can see this visual feedback is very good. The color of the application will change to tell you what zone you're in. So it will be yellow if it's moderate, green if it's light, dark blue if it's very light, and when you're at rest, it's this light blue color. And the whole screen changes as well as the large number because we have this, for the visually impaired, this type of app needs to be, all types of people can use it because of the structure of the app and the way it's built. And then all of this is put together with a real-time management system, so at any point in time you can check where you are right now, live, in terms of hydration, your weight, where you are within your weight program, where you are within your exercise program. And what's really cool about it is just look at it. The app summarizes with smiley faces whether you're on target or not, as well as giving you your percentages. So, okay, my lifestyle score today, well, sort of a nondescript, it's all right, I've done a little bit of exercise and good nutrition and a little bit of hydration, so it's okay. But over the last 7 days, I've been really good. I have a smiley face which shows me that my 46.9% is my score, which is pretty good. Okay, so I've been engaged more in the last week. But if I go back and look over the last month, I said, well, I've been slacking a bit. I didn't do anything earlier in the month, but I've been trying to pick up in the last couple of weeks. And that is all fed through this dashboard system, which allows you to interact with it, not just for an individual. This can be fed up the management chain to if you're working in a gym with a personal trainer, then the personal trainer can see the customers that he's working with. And if it's a suite of gyms spread across multiple jurisdictions or multiple locations even within one city or one country, then you can see different gym names, smart gym, and different people who are the trainers and their clients. All can be summarized within some sort of a management app. Always accessible in the cloud. The clubs are always connected to their clients because with the best will in the world, with the very best will in the world, it's very difficult to keep this going unless you get involved with some sort of a personal training or training situation where you have access to a gym, because you need the social aspect of it as well. It's very hard to do these things by yourself, and by getting involved with a community who are all trying to better themselves, who are all trying to lose weight, who are all trying to do a bit of exercise, it's a lot easier to do it. You can see all the programs that are currently running at national level, like Operation Transformation, etc., where they're trying to do walking campaigns, etc., for whole communities, whole villages getting out and doing stuff. It's easier to do it if you do it as a large group. And similarly, if you want to do dedicated exercising regimes like this, it's easier to do it if you get involved with a gym where there's a personal trainer who's got a list of clients with him, and you're competing with them or competing with yourself, because you have all of your own statistics. You have everything associated with what you've done for your own personal lifestyle over the last month, last 2 months, etc. So you are competing with yourself, but it's easier to do it if you compete with real humans in a real environment. So the R&D aspect of this is in conjunction with, as you can see at the very top there, Science Foundation Ireland, who are funding the research centre, and EmployWells, who are the company who are doing the targeted project within the Insight Research Centre. We have 2 years of targeted research projects based on this. We've won awards for what we've been trying to do in terms of what our application does, for the novelty and innovation in it, and how it can affect lifestyle changes using ICT. And this is a snapshot then of, so EmployWells, the company, have their website there, smart applications for a healthy lifestyle. These screenshots, the ones that are not, obviously there's some caricatures at the start there with the food permit, etc. And they've been accredited. But all the images from the apps are from a real app, and that real app is by EmployWells. And if you have any questions, or if people want to follow up on this and what the capabilities of these type of systems are, we actually have a researcher here, Ezra Portillo, who's sitting in the front row. Hands up, Ezra. And also the CEO of EmployWells is actually here, Kevin O'Sullivan. So Kevin is there too, if you wanted to get some more information on this type of research. So we improve productivity and retention rates. Retention, because it's very difficult for clubs and gyms to hold on to their members, unless you have a targeted program which gets them involved and rewards their behavior, rewards the fact that they're eating properly, that they're exercising properly, that they're hydrating properly, by giving them even smiley faces and scores. But you can do further rewards, like economic rewards, by giving them access to free memberships within gyms, or reduce costings, or reduce pricing for some of the smart technology that is available, or some Under Armour type products or Nike products or whatever. There's lots of ways you can actually hook in with other aspects of the industry as well. So within the core culture of your company can be changed. So employee wellness is what the company is about, that Kevin is involved in. So the core culture of a company that has to change to affect the lifestyle, not just of the individual, but the lifestyle of the population, of the employees within the company. And this is all easy to use, self-explanatory. So the application is so easy. You just register, and immediately you're able to get access to all the information. You'll get given a targeted program based on your body shape and your age and your gender, and you're up and running straight away. You can get connected with a gym. get connected with a gym, and you can go in there and you can get your weight professionally measured first, and then you can log it yourself as time goes on and hook in with the app as and when you can. But you can get daily, weekly, and monthly updates as to how your performance is going. You see here where this particular snapshot, your exercise is 100% because you've done exactly what you're supposed to for today. Nutrition is 44% because you may be halfway through the day and you're just coming up to dinner time, so you're not finished your full quota of calories that are available for the day. And it's important that you eat those calories, not that you just stop. If you're given 2,000 calories to eat in a day or 1,500 calories to eat in a day, eat them. Don't eat nothing, because that's not sustainable. So you're not getting rewarded for not eating. You have to eat in the right quantity and at the right times. Hydration 8%, so as I said, this is something that's poor with everybody, and it's something that has to be worked at. Weight 100% because you're actually on target based on our daily. And heart activity, 84% of the workout based on the exercise has been targeted for, or has been recorded for this particular person. They're currently exercising because at the bottom we have a little snapshot of what their heart rate is 150 beats per minute. They're in the hard heart rate zone, and their overall lifestyle score right at this snapshot in time is 68.6%, which is very good. And they can reward themselves, and they're getting feedback immediately that they're on track. Real-time accurate heart rate measurements, important that you use the right technology, so not just using any wearable technology. In conjunction with these applications, you need to have accurate ones. And the advantage is that Employwells and Kevin and his developers, they work with accurate heart rate monitors. And dynamically changing goals. If you do have a misstep and that you're not on target for hydration or nutrition, the system adapts and sets you new targets, get you back on track, tells you what you need to do to achieve your goals. So the result then is you get lifestyle scores, which will just tell you how you're getting on today, over the last 7 days, or over the last month. You get weighted scores for nutrition, hydration, and your exercise program. And they're the three pillars of this. There are other aspects to it, but these are the three pillars. And if you need any further information, you can contact either Kevin or myself, and we can have a chat with you. Is there any questions? Go ahead. Yeah.
Just a very quick one. Have you looked at mindfulness at all, or mental health?
Well, absolutely, yes. And it's built into this because one thing we've discovered through the research is that any activity, even the smallest amount of activity, helps your mental health. So it increases your heart rate, increases your serotonin levels. So your positive mental attitude is actually changed through exercise. And part of the side effects of this, and Kevin has looked at this as well, does affect. I mean, it's like performing your own mindfulness. Exercise is a form of mindfulness. It allows you to keep in the now, concentrate your mind to be here and not flying off into the future or worrying about things that have happened in the past. So yeah, we've thought about mindfulness, and there's specific things we can do to prove that the exercise helps in your mental attitude as well. I mean, it's intuitively known that it would make sense because people tend to feel happier after doing exercise because they get a serotonin rush. You know, their adrenaline levels are higher. You know, so it does work, and it is a form of mindfulness, and it's something that's probably, if in a structured environment like this, not like that, but like this, where you have some support, you know, as to what can be done and when it can be done and what some structure associated with it. I think it's easier to perform. I keep wandering into the light there. It's easier to perform mindfulness in an exercise routine. I exercise every day, and it's the only time of the day when I'm out of the office that I'm not worrying about his project, my classes, or funding, or international work or national work that we're currently worrying about. Because when you're exercising, you just can concentrate on the fact that I'm not going to fall off this treadmill, or that I'm not going to drown in the pool, or whatever. Whatever you're doing, you're concentrating on it. So it's very good for mindfulness as well. Thank you. Good question.